share with us today. Dave is already sharing the screen, so I'll just go ahead and go from there. Welcome to Coffee Connect, everybody. I'm Roddy, I'm the host. Uh, if you enjoy the conversation today, I'll share the email later on, right? I would encourage you, like if you want to be part of the organization, you want to know what topics are coming up and stuff. I send out a couple emails a week as reminders, right? Feel free to email me, ccinfo@addictedtoconnecting.com. Again, I'll put that up later on. But always good to see everybody and have everybody here with us today. Dave and I broached this topic maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago. Part of it as a testing platform because he has to do this presentation for somebody else. But also, I think this is a great conversation for us all to have, right? And so, without any further ado, guys, I'm going to turn it over to Dave Scoglin.
Thanks, Rodney, and good morning, all. You see the title, Lead the Life You Want to Live. To me, I chose this as the title because I think it highlights the importance of intentional living, strategic, if you will, and leadership in shaping your life. And so often we get caught up in the business or the personal side. So again, I think the comment at the bottom, truest form of intelligence is designing the life you want to live. That's what we're going to try to do today. Give some ideas on that. A leader's dilemma, and let me point out, we're all leaders in some way, shape, or form. Ideally on the left, your personal and career business goals, visions, objectives, really almost all perfectly aligned if you've got the best of all things. The what I like doing and what I'm good at is usually, if you're managing it, a subset. And outside of that, in the areas that are around it, are things that unfortunately business leaders tend to do when they probably shouldn't. They should outsource it. So that's your ideal. On the other side, though, you can see what I like doing, your personal and career. Business oftentimes takes over your personal life. As a business leader, or if you're in transition, you know that. And if you can see there, there's overlap, but the key thing is your personal and career oftentimes don't overlap in the same way, in the same areas of what you like doing and what you're good at. So that's a leader's dilemma. It's like, how do I get back to the other? I put this up here only because back in January of 2025, Rodney had titled it Why 2025 back in the notes. It talks about alignment and how to do that. So rather than get into a lot of detail here, it's there for your asking online. I love the quote at the bottom by John Quincy Adams, because as I said before, we all are leaders. If your actions inspire others to dream more, learn more, do more, and become more, you are a leader. And I think that the idea there, the quote reminds me that true leadership inspires growth and transformation in others. What I put up here, we'll go through briefly the different sections in kind of in discussions and breakout and all. But what I'd like to suggest is if you are looking to get the best outcome for this year, as well as future years, you got to be able to work on how can I think more strategically and take the time to step back and actually, what I would say, rest on the day-to-day stuff and strategize on the thinking stuff. So when people think of strategic leadership, I think everybody's heard the term, but it's not about planning or strategic planning. It's just one part of it. So it's how you think, how you decide, and how you guide others. If you keep that kind of in the forefront, I think you'll be good. Desired results or success. Without a show of hands, just think and jot down, because it's going to be part of the breakout room. How do you define success? What does success mean to you? Let me share mine. It's doing the things I like to do and that I'm good at with people I know, like, and trust, both in the work environment and in my personal life, so that I can create happiness and well-being for myself, my family, for friends, and business associates. That's my definition of success. Everything else feeds into that. My vision is helping others achieve more. Simple, but it's broad enough that almost anything can fall into it. And to do that, though, yeah, I have to continually think in a strategic way so that I don't go off course. If you're in job search, as I said, if you're a business owner, you kind of know this and you've been through it. But if you're in job search, I'd really urge you stop thinking like an employee and start thinking like a leader. Because it was we were talking before with Susie before the break we started. It's so important to be able to find the strategies that will get you indoors and not get you kicked out because you're on the wrong computer. So here's the first breakout session. I'd like you to share what success means to you. And again, not long stories, bullets. Think strategic, think on the lines of an executive. The second thing, though, is in your group, think of someone in your life that you know well that was a great leader in any form, shape, or whatever. And highlight a little bit about what the evidence of what caused them to be that way with you. And then finally, the other thing that I think Coffee Connect is a good example of, who are your partners in success? Accountability partners are part of that group. You can talk about your partners like your accountants or other things, but there's far more than that. So share in the group because somebody might ping an idea that gives you the ability to add more people as partners in your success. So Rodney, with that, if you want to
Dave,
get
could
into
you share
breakouts,
that slide, please? Because
which slide?
the
You
one
have
with
the
the three
questions on the
questions?
slide?
No slide, Lamar. You have to write it down.
Oh, I
Share,
skipped one then. All right,
share what success means to you.
right.
Think of a great leader. What were the skills or what made them great? And who are your partners in success?
Okay,
Those are
thank you.
pretty straightforward. So,
Perfect.
Rodney,
I've
off
got
and
them
running.
open. We're going for about 8 minutes, right, Dave?
Yes.
See you guys back here shortly.
Where do you want me?
Wherever you'd like to go.
Everybody has 3, so we're all.
Welcome back. If we could, if there's somebody or some buddies that have some unique perspective that kind of came out of the blue as part of your group or something that you just think is worth sharing, let's get to a handful of those real quick. Anybody want to share from their group?
Go ahead,
Tony?
Tony.
Yeah, I just interestingly, I think the number of leaders that we would look up to within the whole group was only about 5 between the 4 of us. That was quite interesting.
Helps bring things kind of in a focus as to the commonality, which is interesting. Anybody else as far as partners in success or leaders?
I think our group was, we agreed on that too, as far as who we would rely on and who we would turn to. But also the fact that there wasn't one aspect of success in our life, right? We often define that both, in multiple phases with our families, with our business, and maybe with some other things that we've got going on and stuff.
Okay, just a show of hands while we're here. How many look at success as a destination? Anybody? Okay. Versus then the rest of you, I am assuming then it's a journey. Is that a fair statement?
Yeah.
Okay. So Rodney, the reason I said that only is because if it's a journey, success is you have that core. Am I meeting what I want and need? And each of those fall into it. That's where that alignment issue of your personal and business life is so important because it really should be the same things, just falling into shape with each other. Now there's goals and objectives, but for all intents and purposes, that success of am I helping people and am I doing it with people I like, it's my overriding thing. Anybody else as far as?
Pam's got her hand up.
Okay, I'm sorry, Pam. Go ahead.
Not a problem. In job transition, you have to take the small victories.
Yes.
I believe it is a journey. You do have stepstones. And once you achieve those, you can move forward.
And hopefully you're choosing the correct stones to step on so that you are getting what you want, your results the way you want to. Okay. Last call. Anybody else? All right. What I'd like to suggest is that it's significantly harder to reach your desired results if you don't have a clear understanding of the awareness and your vision. And awareness, to me, just defined, understand yourself, your business, your market, your team, everything that's in your environment as it currently exists. And vision is to create a detailed picture of what you want your future to look like. And a lot of people will say, for an awareness, it may be the numbers of your business, it may be the salary you're looking for, the people or systems, or do a SWOT analysis. But I'd argue that if looking at awareness, do you really know who you are, your strengths, what you like doing? And I can't stress that enough for job search. If you know what you like and you are looking for jobs that you're good at and you like, you're going to be far better off. And that's even true with the business owner. It's so hard to do the let go worksheet where all these things I'm good at or somewhat good at, and you still keep doing them instead of outsourcing. So I'll use my example as I'm great at shoveling mulch. I don't like doing it. I outsource it. So let me share something here. And that's the bottom statement. A steady long-term mindset helps create resilience through change and supports the life you're working toward, whatever stage you're in. Does anybody know who that applies to? Or could apply to? Any guesses? That's Jose Ramirez. If you think about it, in 2022, he signed a 10-year, his 10-year vision was he wanted to play his whole career with the same team, have his number retired, win a World Series, and then be inducted into the Hall of Fame. Now you talk about a long stretch, and then he just signed a 3-year contract extension that's going to keep him here until 2030. So, if a ball player who we all kind of consider great talent, but maybe isn't the most strategic person, he's one of the few major leaguers that isn't just chasing money as his goal. So I thought that was interesting when we can kind of look at how somebody can actually take a different path to their desired results. I put this up only because so many people confuse mission and vision statements in their lives. Just a quick reminder, a vision statement is the future. Its purpose is to define long-term aspirations and desired future impacts. It's what you can aim to become or achieve. It should be inspirational rather than just number specific. And it should be ambitious. It should be that big, hairy, aggressive goal. And the audience, again, if it's in a business, if you're a business owner or in that role, it's primarily internal to guide the leadership of the team. For those in transition, if it's more of a personal, it'd be your family members, your key networking contacts and friends. But it's all, again, this is future, and you're sharing the things that are important so that they can help you. Maybe some of you saw this quote in the recent past. I want to attend a White House dinner, appear on the Tonight Show, and see the Pope. Anybody remember seeing that? And who was it?
My two guesses would be Sylvester Stallone or Frank Sinatra.
Anybody else? That was Lou Holtz. His wife gave him a book before he even became a head coach when he was just an assistant and said, put your thoughts down on paper. And those were some of the things he put down. So his ultimate success was as a college football coach. But those were the things that were most important, and he was able to achieve them. All right, so Rodney, I'd like to move to breakout number 2, if we could.
Okay.
And here, share what you have, whatever it may be. what's your vision? You know, again, if it's just personal, if it's business and person, but share it with your group. What's your vision? What's that long-term purpose? And again, back to who are partners in success? Who are other people? If you've got a new group, it's worth it to share because it may be one of the people in this group in the Coffee Connect, and maybe you can get another partner of success out of it. So with that, again, if we do another 8 minutes, we're in good shape. Everybody back, we actually added one. Welcome, Julie.
Yay!
She's daylight savings time or just the whole day in general kind of threw her off today. So, but she's here. All right. Who'd like to share? And hopefully you all at least had some idea of the vision, whether it was very broad or very specific, but what were some of the outcomes from your groups? Anyone?
Go on, Rodney.
I don't think any of us were like centered on specific goals or anything. I said if at my eulogy someone stands up and says he can be remembered for the service he provided to others.
Well, I mean, that's exactly where it's long-standing, and you can almost focus everything you do based upon that.
Yes.
And it also helps you say no based upon that. Anybody else?
He also slaughtered the education system in America as well at the same time.
What about partners in success? Where are some of the people, whether they've been in, especially in job search, besides the job group people, where you can go to a Bob or Lamar or Joe, who else do you reach out to? That might trigger somebody, or even from guys that have their jobs. We've all been looking at jobs at one point or another, or new business. Who do you turn to?
Joe here. Sorry, I don't have my camera on.
That's okay.
Uh, Good or bad, I've been turning a lot to a peer of mine who went through the same experience almost exactly a year ahead of me. It's funny how I've had several experiences personally and professionally kind of follow in his footsteps, and he's not been necessarily the greatest example of success in all things, but I go to him for knowledge, and then I found him to be a good leader and grasp of reality
Cool.
check. And he understood the ideas of accountability, and in a good-natured way, gives me a hard time when he sees me being lazy or doing something counterproductive.
Well, the one message I would just leave with that is you have many, many more people that are willing to help you if you just share as much about what you're trying to accomplish, and you can give it in a focused, clear way. So just realize there's more to it if you want to take advantage of it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
The idea of once you have, and I swear that awareness and vision part is so critical, because without it, how can you really explain your ideas and put them into a solid mission? And the couple quotes at the bottom, to me, and it applies to both personal and professional, leadership's the capacity to translate vision into reality. So without having, I want to go north, south, east, or west, I want to do these things, I'd like to travel more, you can't create goals and objectives that are going to get you there. So purpose is identifying your why and the emotional drivers behind what you're doing. And the mission is creating actions from that vision. Again, I'm not going to go into the golden circle because we've done it again in that why 2025. I'll just make the statement, people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. And it's so important there. And let me just share here a real quick story. If you think of the Guardians, they really have a very, I think, unique situation. And I pull this slide back up because Unite and inspire our city with the power of team is their purpose. And if you think about what they've been able to do, they have a second-year manager who's been manager of the year. They have no high-priced free agents. They had 7 rookies on their team last year. So what's the secret? It's that vision of unite and inspire our city. And when you think about it, their core internal values listed on their website are people, collaboration, learning, and excellence. So when you get that, the support from the manager, coaches, and front office, and most importantly, the fans, you have that positive environment, and it just creates kind of a tsunami of moving in the direction you need to do. And I think the ultimate benefit out of all that is it really looks like they're having fun. So if you'd like to learn more about Simon Sinek's stuff, start with Why is his book. But more importantly, there's more information on it from the January 21st Why 2025.
Which I put in the chat earlier.
So I wanted to share, we shared the vision statement before, putting them side by side. Just recognize when you're talking to folks, it's really important that you think of the vision as your future things, your present as the mission. What activities and things are you looking to do? Who are you looking to do it with? Who are you going to serve? That's where, when Rodney was talking about his broad one, the mission statement should be more your 1 year. If you think of a business plan, that would be more your 1 year, maybe your 2 year plan with goals and objectives that come with it. Your audience from a business perspective clearly is your employees, your customers and partners, but from a personal, people in transition or just in general, that's more your family, your friends, your network associates. That's, again, you're feeding information to them in a positive way that they can use as well, but that helps you achieve your, again, it's the win-win or win-win-win things. And I think this is where I use this last statement quote only because Coffee Connect embodies this. When you're surrounded by people who share a passionate commitment around a common purpose, anything's possible. And that's the thing. Too often we become MacGyverish and we don't ask for help, or if we do ask for help, we don't share it. What I want to do here is just spend a real short amount of time on clarity and communication. Clarity should be throughout your whole life. If you can't be clear as you're sharing things with people, it's hard for them to know what and how and why to help you. So again, think of leadership, not just business leaders, but good leaders create vision, articulate it, and passionately own it. So if you think back to your vision, if you don't passionately own it, that's really not a vision. You can make it, you have a vision, just try to get it more succinct so that you can be passionate, and then relentlessly drive it to completion. So, having clear, consistent focus on what matters most in job search, in your career for your next advancement, in any of those things, that's a critical component to this. So I want to leave with here, there's a statement that a designer named, and I have no idea who this woman is, Victoria Pater. She reminds us that life responds to signals we send. And her comment, which again, I think is really appropriate if you're in sales or in job search mode, only show work you like, or you'll end up being hired to do the things you don't like. So again, the more you can say yes to things that are going to make you smile at the end of the day and happy, you're going to have a more fulfilled life. And I want to end on this to give some time at the end. I just ask over the coming weeks, pause and ask whether a decision you're making at that time serves your strategy, compounds or consumes energy, and will matter to the future you. And with that, we can open it back up to the world.
Yeah, awesome job, Dave. Questions, comments, additions?
I just want to say Dave, I came in here, like I told you at the beginning, wasn't really sure I'd like this. I just came for the networking today.
You came for the coffee. Okay.
But this was like the most amazing one I've been to. It hit home in so many ways. So thank you. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, and you made me feel better because I had this as a C minus D plus when I started getting ready for today. So I'm glad
Nah,
I'm
it's
glad it hit
more.
home for people. If you can't tell, I'm competitive as heck, and I'm a perfectionist with my high C, high D stuff. So thank you. That means a lot.
Anybody else?
While you're waiting, here's an offer, and the offer has always been out on the table. If you'd like to investigate more of this, I can certainly share resources with you, whether it's the Entrepreneur's Operating System, vision tracking reports, or just conversation. That's what this group's about. And so if you ever do want to just step back and play more in this arena, that offer's out there. And please take advantage of it because this group is a know, like, and trust group. And especially you see the guy, at least on my bottom screen. Bob, it's so good to see you back here.
It is. It is. Lamar, go ahead.
Uh, Um, Dave and I go back several decades. Uh, I I have to echo what Susie said. This has been very informative, Dave. And one thing I would challenge everyone is why don't I think we have time, put in the chat one of your takeaways from today's session. What's one takeaway that you're going to share with others, share with your accountability partner, share with a loved one? What's something you're actually going to practice or continue to practice in the coming week?
Their commitment. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
And more importantly, if you have somebody here that you actually know, send it to them directly so that they have it too. And they know that they're there to support you.
And we talked about like who our supporters are, and I think, and I can't remember what the book was or whatever when I first came into Primerica, right? But it often referred to the fact that your mastermind people or your mastermind group that you have around you, right? It doesn't have to be someone who's alive. I often refer back to readings of people, right? And try and think about Abraham Lincoln and the decisions he made and how he surrounded himself with people. And not always were the decisions that he was making, right, were the favored ones, right? They were often against the grain and stuff. And so you got to find ways to tap into the resources that have been there in the past and kind of walk the paths already, right? And so please think about those things too. If it's not a Greg Butler or an Andy or a Rodney or a Joe that you can tie into, there's other things out there that you can still find the answers to your challenges, right?
I love reading some of those. Tony, I like yours. Will make the boat go faster. Can't guarantee that. Only if you wanted to. Maybe your journey is just doing the slow meandering. Who knows?
I settle for forward. That's good.
Unless you're running into a pier, that could be a problem. You may want to reverse it.
Yeah.
So
You just don't want the boat to go over the falls.
Yeah.
there you go.
You know what happens in submarines if they're not going forward, right?
That title is a book, and it's actually a talk from an Olympic rower. And of course, in rowing, incremental changes, points of a second would be the difference between gold and silver. And it was just a case of anyone can do it in their business, personal life. Comes across your desk, will this actually help me? The answer
Perfect.
is
No, I'm glad.
no.
I'm glad I just happened to catch that, and it's like I see it in quotes, but I wanted to raise. Good. So there's another resource, folks. There's a ton of good material on leadership, and I hadn't heard about that one, but I will get that on tape because I'm driving a long distance to Cincinnati, and I could use that. So anyway, Rodney, take it back.
Perfect. Hey, thank you so much, Dave. Thank you. Hey, next week, guys. Dave, did you get a chance to look at Jelly Bean?
Pardon me?
The Jelly Bean exercise?
I looked at it.
I think that's what we're doing next week. is the Jelly Bean exercise.
You can tell it didn't fit my mission.
There is a professor out of Duke University who teaches a class called Learning to Fail. next week, we're going to do one of his exercises that he actually does with his class in Learning to Fail. Should be fun. I need all of you, right? We're getting close to Easter, so it shouldn't be hard to find a small bag of jelly beans. Right? Just a small bag of jelly beans. Bring it with you, have it ready, right? It is going to be applicable.
Does
Right?
the color matter?
The color does not matter, right?
Okay, because I
can
already
it-
got a bag.
Can it be
Are we gonna
M&Ms?
have to eat them?
Yeah, does flavor matter?
You
Flavor
can,
always
you can eat
matters.
them afterwards, okay? But yeah, I'm not going to force you to eat a bag of jelly beans. Like
If I have a
somebody's
Harry
somebody's
Potter
probably
jelly bean.
diabetic in this group that I'm going to force you to eat a bunch of sugar real quick, and then no, bring a bag of jelly beans. We're going to have a good time. I think it's going to give you some good lessons and stuff. I don't want to go into what those lessons might be because it'll throw it all away. Just bring a bag of jelly beans. Real quick, does anybody know Karen that was on earlier?
She's come to a couple of